Well, the night's other big story, fresh reaction to a decision by a federal judge to block Arkansas's newly enacted law that regulates pharmacy benefit managers, or PBMs. The measure seeks to prevent companies that set drug prices from owning their own pharmacies. But those companies fought back and they've won an early victory in court. Channel 7's Andrew Mobley has more now. Andrew?
When Act 624 was signed into law, Arkansas became the first state in the country to try to end the unethical business practices PBMs have been widely accused of. In a scathing 2024 report, the Federal Trade Commission said that PBMs like CVS and Express Scripts, which set drug prices and reimbursement rates not only for their own pharmacies but also for their competitors, are inflating drug costs and squeezing local pharmacies that aren't affiliated with them. In May, the FTC went so far as to sue 3 of the largest PBMs for engaging in anti-competitive and unfair practices. But before the feds waded into the fray, Arkansas was already trying to nip the issue in the bud with Act 624, which by keeping PBMs from owning pharmacies would eliminate the possibility of certain monopolistic practices that the Arkansas Pharmacists Association says hurt patients.
That's why the state took this bold step to reform this industry to uncomplicate care for our sickest and most vulnerable patients and make that access and care delivery easier at better prices. That's the reason for Act 624. This legislation was passed to protect patients.
But PBMs were quick to sue Arkansas over the new law. CVS, Express Scripts, OptumRx, and their trade group, the Pharmaceutical Care Management Association, have all filed lawsuits that have since been combined into one. Among other claims, the PBMs say Act 624 violates the Commerce Clause of the Constitution, which prohibits states from unjustifiably discriminating against interstate commerce. The PBMs have argued that Act 624 unfairly favors local pharmacies over those that are out of state. Eastern District of Arkansas Judge Brian Miller agreed that Act 624 likely violated the Commerce Clause. On Monday, he granted the plaintiffs a preliminary injunction against Act 624. In a statement to KATV, CVS said, "We're pleased with the court's decision to grant a preliminary injunction to stop the implementation of Act 624. We continue to be focused on serving people in Arkansas and are actively looking to work together with the state to reduce drug prices and ensure access to pharmacies." The Arkansas Pharmacists Association and National Community Pharmacists Association have recently weighed in on the case in support of Arkansas with an amicus brief.
The argument that you're, targeting out-of-state companies, well, when there's only a handful of companies that monopolize the market, they're not going to be in all 50 states. So when there's only 3 PBMs that control 84% of the prescriptions, and one of those 3 that controls over 50% of the commercial claims in Arkansas, that is a monopoly.
Vinson is confident that Arkansas will ultimately win the legal battle, which he calls a David and Goliath struggle.
Arkansas has a great chance at prevailing in this case at either the 8th Circuit, Supreme Court, or at the District Court when Judge Miller has the full ability to look at all the details of the case.
Arkansas Attorney General Tim Griffin says he plans to appeal the preliminary injunction. On your side, I'm Andrew Mobley.
Andrew, thank you. For more coverage of Arkansas's unprecedented efforts to reform the pharmaceutical industry, log on to KATV.com.